I still remember the day when everything changed. The hospital air was cold and heavy, filled with the smell of antiseptic and the hum of machines. My wife lay in bed after a long and exhausting procedure. She looked pale, but her eyes still carried that familiar strength. I stood there awkwardly, wondering what to bring her to lift her spirits. Everyone in the waiting room seemed to be carrying flowers. Bright roses, cheerful lilies, colorful tulips. But to me, flowers felt too temporary. She was not someone defined by fragile petals. She had endured too much. She had fought too hard. She needed something more permanent. I walked down the hospital corridor, past the gift shop. Balloons bobbed in the air, cards shimmered under fluorescent lights, teddy bears lined the shelves. None of them felt right. I kept hearing her voice in my head. She had once said, "I don't want things that fade. I want something that lasts." Those words echoed in me as I left the hospital building and stepped into the chilly evening outside. My shoes clicked against the pavement as I searched for something meaningful. On the corner of the street, I spotted a small artisan shop with dim light glowing through its windows. I stepped inside. The shop smelled of wood, stone, and metal. Handmade crafts filled the shelves. My eyes landed on a rough but beautiful carved stone. It was shaped into a heart. The heart was heavy, uneven, raw, yet strong. It felt like it had been through fire and survived. I held it in my hand and immediately thought of her. It wasn't soft or delicate. It was real. It was unbreakable. Just like her. I bought it without hesitation. The shopkeeper wrapped it in plain paper, looking at me curiously as if wondering why I'd choose this instead of roses. When I returned to her room, she was awake. Her eyes lit up when she saw me. I handed her the small package. She opened it slowly, peeling away the paper. When she saw the stone heart, her lips parted in surprise. For a moment, she just stared at it. I worried she might think it was strange or too harsh. But then, tears welled in her eyes. She clutched it to her chest and whispered, "This is perfect." Her voice cracked, but her smile grew. She said flowers would have wilted in days, but this would stay. I sat beside her bed as she held the heart tightly. She said it was heavy but comforting, like an anchor. When the nurse walked in and noticed it, she chuckled. My wife laughed too, calling it the most brutal and most beautiful gift ever. That laugh echoed in the room. It broke the tension and reminded me of the woman I had fallen in love with. From that moment, the stone heart became her companion. She kept it on her bedside table, touching it whenever the pain grew too much. The doctors noticed it during their rounds. Some smiled politely. Others raised their brows. But no one understood what it truly meant. To us, it wasn't just a carved rock. It was a reminder of her fight, her strength, and the love that didn't break under pressure. Days turned into weeks. Her recovery was slow but steady. The stone heart never left her side. One afternoon, she asked me why I had chosen it. I told her, because flowers fade. But stone endures. Just like you. She squeezed my hand, and her grip was stronger than it had been in weeks. When she was finally discharged, she carried the heart in her bag. She said it was coming home with her, no matter how heavy it was. At home, she placed it in the living room where sunlight touched it each morning. It became a silent witness to her healing. Visitors would ask about it. She always smiled and said, "It was a brutal gift, but it saved me." Years passed. Cards and bouquets from that time disappeared, but the stone remained. It gathered dust sometimes, but never lost its presence. It survived moves, storms, and seasons. It outlived every delicate thing we ever received. Even in quiet evenings, she would sometimes pick it up, run her fingers over its rough edges, and smile. She said it reminded her that love was not always gentle. Sometimes it was fierce, heavy, and enduring. The stone heart had become part of our story. Not hidden in a drawer, but displayed proudly. Every time I saw it, I remembered that hospital night. Her tears, her laughter, her strength. She often told me it was not just a gift. It was a promise. A promise that no matter how heavy life got, we would carry it together. And we did. Through hardship, joy, sorrow, and triumph. The stone was always there. Looking back, I realized that giving her that heart was the truest expression of my love. It was brutal, yes. But it was also honest, strong, and lasting. And even now, as it sits quietly in our home, it reminds me that flowers may fade, but love carved in stone endures forever.